Hello everyone, so today we are going to do LeetCode Daily Challenge, count good nodes in binary tree. So basically in this question, what we need to do is that we need to find out paths which are being in ascending order. So we check about the first example only. In this example, it is being given that we are having nodes as 3, 1, 1 and 3. So if we check for the first node, then it is being in ascending order itself. Then if we check for this node, 3 and 1, then it doesn't form any ascending order. But if we check for 3, 1 and 3, here we can check that the previous node was either equal to this current node or it was less than the current node. So that's why we can take this node as good node. Now we get to the right subtree. So here we can check that here we are having 3 and 4. Here 3 was smaller than the 4, so that's why we can take 4 as a good count, good node basically. And here next in the row there was 3, 4, 5. So here also we can take this as the good node. So basically there are total 4 good nodes in this tree. Now comes the next subtree, basically tree. So here we are having 3, then we are having 3 and 3 as the good nodes. Then we are having 3, 3 and 4. So 4 is also basically a good node. So basically we are having 3 nodes which are being good in this tree. So this is how we need to count that how many good nodes are there in this tree. So as per the question, we simply need to find out that all the paths which are being in ascending order. So how we can do that? So basically we can do this by maintaining a maximum variable which will keep check that is the present node greater than the maximum node encountered till now, or if it is smaller, then what we need to do is we just need to check for the next node without incrementing the count variable at that moment. So this is what we need to do in this question. So basically we would be simply traversing the tree and checking for each node and side by side maintaining a max variable at every moment of our traversal. So now as we need to traverse this tree, which traversal we could prefer? Either we could prefer DFS or BFS. Both could work here. Now in DFS also, which order we could prefer? If we prefer that pre-order traversal, then it would be somehow much easier to go ahead with, because in pre-order traversal there would be first root and then left and right subtrees. So that's why I would be going with for the pre-order traversal in case of DFS, but in case of BFS it's alright with PFS only as it is. So now let's come to the solution of DFS, that's how we can proceed with it. So for DFS part, what we need to do is, first, we need to check for the recurrence relation which could be made. So for that recurrence relation, we require the base case and the choices. So now here the base case would be that if root is not equals to null, so the base case would be simply if root is equals to null. That is, if not root is there, then we simply return null. Else, the thing would be we would be having two choices. Either we need to traverse towards the left subtree and maintain the maximum variable at that moment, or we need to traverse towards the right subtree and maintain that maximum variable. So this is how we could work for the recurrence relation. Now comes the part that how DFS would work here. So for DFS part, the algorithm would be simply like, if root is not there, then we simply need to return, and we need to maintain a variable count which will be our final answer, basically that it will be the count of good nodes. So now the first thing, as we need to maintain our maximum variable, so that's why we first need to check at that moment only, that is our current node and its value. If it is greater than or equal to the max value, then we will simply increment our count. If that was the thing, or if that was not the thing, still we need to check That means we need to update max value at every moment of our traversal. So we'll check that which is the maximum. Is current node dot value maximum, or the max value which was there, that is itself maximum. So we need to maintain that. Now the next thing means as choices. Then we will be simply calling our function again. We'll traverse towards left subtree and max value would be there, or we'll traverse towards the right subtree and max value will be there. So like this we will be turn by turn doing this, going through this recurrence relation and performing this DFS. And this is how at the end, when all the cases would be done, it will be simply returning the count. Now this was about this DFS solution. Basically, okay, let me explain that here only. So basically, for dry run of this DFS based solution, what it would be like, we are having 3, 1, 3, 4, 1 and 5. So first thing, our pointer would be here, means our pointer would be at 3. Now it will first the count will be simply equals to 0, and max value at this moment will be simply int min. Now we are having this as current node. So the value of the current node is 3 and it is greater than max value. So our count will be simply equals to 1 and the max value will be updated to 3. Now what that part is done. So now it will come to the fifth point. This particular node is now root, so it will check for its left subtree and right subtree. First the left subtree call would be there and it will check for the 1, and the whole process will again repeat. It will check for the check that is this value greater than the max value, which is not, so it will not enter to the if condition. Then it will check, then again max value need to be updated, but it will check that is the present value or the max value which was earlier was that maximum. So it will encounter that the maximum value which was previously that was greater. So that's why max value won't be updated at this moment. But now it will call for its left subtree, basically left node. So as this was root now, so it will call for its left node, which is 3. Now 3 becomes the root and everything would be there for 3. Now the count will become equals to 2 because it is equal to the max value, and max value will again remain the same. Now it will check for its left subtree, which will be there as null. So it will simply return to its parent. Basically this null value will simply return to its parent, which is 3. And now it will check for its right subtree, which is also null. So it will again return. Now both of its calls are done, so it will return to its parent, which was 1. Now its right call was still left, so it will check for its right call, which is now null, means it was null. So it will again return to 1. Now this 1 will simply return towards 3 again. And at this moment count value is 2 and max value is 3. So here when 3 again becomes the root, so at that moment what happens, that 3 will check for its right subtree because its left subcall is done, but its right subcall was still there. So it will check for 4. Now 4 is greater than the maximum value, so now count will again increment and it will become 3. And max value will be simply updated to 4. Now 4 becomes a root, so it will check for its left subtree. So now its left subtree is having 1 as the left node. So 1 is smaller than, so it won't update the count and max value. Then it will simply check for its left node, which is null, and it will return to its parent. Then right node, which is null, so it will return to its parent. Now it will return to its parent, which is 4. Now 4 will simply go towards the 5 because its right call was still in the stack and it was not called. So now as 5 is greater than the 4, so now count will simply become as 4 and max value will be updated to 5, right? So now 5 will call its left child which is null, so it will return, and its right child which is null, so it will return, so it will completely return to 4, then 4 will return to 3, and then here we are having no other cost left, so at the end we will return count whose value is presently 4. So this is how this TFS solution will work. And now comes the part, and yes, basically it's about the time complexity. So for the time complexity, as we are not given that it is a balanced binary tree, so it could be a skewed tree also. So the time complexity for this solution will be simply order of n, which is number of nodes of the tree, and the space complexity will be simply height of the tree. Basically, at single moment, stack would store all the nodes which belong to the height of the tree. So this is time complexity and space complexity of this solution. Now comes the part of the DFS, that how we will perform DFS on this solution. So for the DFS part, we need to maintain a queue, right? So how that queue would be maintained is what sort of value need to be stored in our queue. So at any moment, we need to store what the present node is there in that particular queue and what would be the corresponding maximum value at that time. So this is what we need to store in our queue at any moment. So that's why first thing which we will be doing is we'll simply start a queue in which the data type will be of pairs, that is tree node and end data type. Next, we will maintain a max value which will be initialized in min, that is the minimum value of our integer, and will maintain a count variable which will be at the end returned. Now we'll simply push whatsoever was there in its root and the max value into a queue. Now until the queue doesn't becomes empty, what we will be doing is we'll maintain a variable pair value in which we will store whatever is there in the front of our queue, and we'll simply pop that from the queue so that queue could process at the next moment for the next node. Now our current node will be having the first value of our pair value, and current max value will be storing the current value second pair value second node, basically that integer part which will be there. Now if our current node value means whatsoever current node was there in our queue, if that value is greater than or equal to the current maximum value, and the current maximum value was at this time int min, means at the starting. So that's why the count will simply be incremented. Now comes the next part, that we need to again update for a max value. So we'll simply update by checking what is the maximum amount of current max value and the current node. So current node's value. So this is how we'll update for the max value at every moment of time. Then we will simply check that if our current node's left side exists, then we'll simply push that node into a queue and push that max value also into a queue. And same by this we only will check for the right node, and we'll simply push that current node right into the queue and max value also into the queue. And all this process will go on until a queue becomes empty. Means basically a whole tree is being traversed. After that only we will simply return the count entry. And basically time complexity and space complexity for this solution is also again the same as that was for DFS, But in DFS part, one thing was there, that if we ignore the recursive stack, means if in the question it was given that we don't need to consider space complexity for recursive stack, then the space complexity would have been order of 1. But here anything like that was not mentioned, so that's why we need to consider the space complexity of order of h. Uh, but one more thing which is there is that here it is, as it was not given that it is a balanced binary tree, so again the space complexity will also be order of n. So basically, at the worst case, it could be the same that we would be having all the nodes in a queue and the stack. So that's how the solution will work. And now comes the part for the coding. So for coding part, uh, first for the DFS, what is being done is that if root equals to null, then we simply need to return null and count equals to 0. And then we will be simply checking that if root's value is greater than equal to max from the root value, we will simply increment the count, and here the max, the max from the root will be simply updated to present root value because it was greater. If it was not greater, then surely we don't need to update it. That's why we could put this condition into this if condition also. Now comes the next part, that as we need to increment the count at every moment, so that's why we are simply adding up the recursive calls in this, and also for this means our left and right subtree, and again we need to simply return the count. So if we check for the DFS solution, for that part we are simply maintaining a queue, then maintaining our int max value, then pushing that values in a queue, and then also maintaining a count variable. So here we are taking that pair value where queue's front value would be there, and then we are popping out. Then the current node will be simply equal to the first value, basically the node value. And then we are maintaining this current max value, which will be having pair value dot second, basically which will be involving that what is the present max value, and then we will be simply comparing that is the current node's value greater than equal to the current max value or not. If it is, then we'll simply increment the count, and at the next moment we are simply checking that whichever is greater will update with that, and then we are simply pushing whichever in left subtree to a queue and whichever in right subtree to a queue, and we'll simply process this whole until the queue is being emptied, and then simply return the count. This is how we will be doing in C++. For Java, here only CFS code I have mentioned it, and it is the same as that was for the C++. Now comes the next part, that is for Python, and for Python it's again the same, but here I've just explicitly taken the left, right, and the present value and compared them, and just have simply returned them. And for the JavaScript, it was simply again the DFS solution here. We have maintained basically two functions. One was for just helping out, means that DFS function only. This was the main function here, and maintaining the count. And we were calling that DFS by simply passing root and the minus infinity value, and at the end we will returning count. So in this again we were maintaining the same thing only as we were doing in other languages. If there is no root, then we need to return. Else, if node value is greater than equal to max, then we'll simply increment the count, and we'll maintain that max variable by checking that whichever is maximum, we'll update with that. Then we call DFS for both left and right, and this is how it will be done in this JavaScript. So this was all for this video. Thank you.